Well, we know a rivalry can be divided in the household between friends and family, but in rare circumstances as well. Some of these players have played on both sides of the rivalry. Take BYU linebacker Austin Lee, for instance. His grandfather and father both played at the U. He started his career at the U before transferring to the Y after his freshman season.
And then there's Utah linebacker Francis Bernard. He scored a touchdown in the Las Vegas Bowl when he was a running back for the Cougars back in 2015, then had 80 tackles the next season as a linebacker. His one-handed interception against Utah in 2016 is one of the most memorable plays of that game. But then trouble came, a team rule violation, an arrest on suspicion of DUI, part of what ended his time in Provo and put his college football career in jeopardy. He's since turned his life around and found redemption as a Ute. I had a conversation with Francis about how he overcame his struggles, his rivalry experience, and his message for those who want to give up.
How would you describe, up to this point, your college football journey and experience?
Man, it's definitely been a roller coaster. You know, I've had lots of highs, and then I've had lots of lows where I've had to reevaluate myself to see whether football was something that I wanted to do, and had to see if it was something I wanted to take serious. But I'm here now, and I'm excited that Utah gave me another opportunity to be back, and now I'm back up on that high.
Your struggles are well documented. As you were going through that process, you mentioned reevaluating yourself and deciding whether you really wanted to play football. What was that experience like as you tried to figure all that out while you were going through a difficult time?
Man, it was hard just because I just never in my life had I had football taken away from me or any sport. My parents pushed my family all my siblings to play sports growing up, and so we just were known just to play sports, whether it was football, basketball, baseball, whatever it was. And so for the first time in my life, I had gotten in trouble and was messing up, and it was just kind of looking at my life like, hey, I don't, what am I doing with my life? And so when it was taken away from me, I really had to figure out, hey, all right, do I get back up on my feet, or do I just stay down to the ground and, pretty much crumble? And so it took me a little bit to get back on my feet, but, I had some people along the way, be right there every step of the way to help me realize, hey, there's always a way back, and when you get back, don't look back.
Were you worried you'd never get a chance to play college football again?
Yeah, I was. As soon as things happened to me, I kind of just hit rock bottom. And I had a job at the time too, and even that job, I stopped going to work just because it felt weird. I felt like everyone was looking at me differently. People were treating me differently, and so I just thought, man, I might as well just quit and give up just because I'm at the bottom. I might as well stay there. But I'm fortunate for those people that helped me out, get back on my feet.
So you get a second chance here. Why here, and why has it worked out?
Growing up, I always wanted to play here. I didn't get a scholarship offer from University of Utah in high school, and so coming here was always like a goal. And so when I got the opportunity from the coaching staff saying that even with things going on, they were still willing to give me a scholarship offer, I just took it and ran with them. Like, yeah, that's where I want to go, and that's what I want to be a part of.
Fast forward to now, you're a starter, you're a senior, and you're expected to be a leader. How have things changed for you, and how are you handling this new role that you have on this team?
I'm handling it great. Thanks to the guys last year, Chase and Cody, I looked at them as great examples of being great leaders. They were the hardest workers on the team. I took it upon myself this offseason to be the hardest worker too. And it goes to show I got selected to be on the leadership council. And I'm just embracing it. I'm not shying away from it. Anything that comes my way, I'm embracing it and just going to run with it.
Nobody understands the rivalry quite like you do. Yeah. What's it like being on both sides and experiencing both sides?
My very first experience was the 2015 Las Vegas Bowl, and just all the hype stuff going up. Like, we got here at the University of Utah, we have the hate video going up of the 8 in a row games. They got down south, they got something very similar going on, all their wins and stuff. But it's funny now that I look back on it because there's no recent wins. So I think that's funny. I'm like, dang. And so when I was down south, we were always, that team like, dang, we're gonna break the streak. We're gonna break the streak. Now, being on the side, we're like, yeah, we got to keep the streak. it's been amazing to have my eyes open up to why it is that, University of Utah has been dominant, the past 8 times. It's because of the work we put in, day in and day out. I'm not saying that BYU doesn't put work in, but man, we grind over here. We grind like no other team grinds in the country, and it's the reason why we win games, and it's the biggest reason why we're going to go and do big things this year.
What's it going to be like playing LaVell Edwards Stadium again?
I'm excited, man. I love that stadium. I still have love for that stadium, and it's going to be special going down and playing there one more time. And so, I tell the guys who haven't been a part of the rivalry, I'm like, man, expect it to be deafening. Like, you will not be able to, talk to the guy next to you on the sideline, and it'll get that crazy, especially when the crowd is going to be 70,000 strong. Like, it's insane. So, I mean, I'm excited to go back.
There's probably a lot of people watching this right now that maybe went through similar struggles that you went through. Do you have a message for them?
Just don't give up. Even when you think, life just keeps throwing things at you and you think you're gonna be at the bottom and stay at the bottom, know that there's always a way out, and when you get out, stay out. Keep moving forward, don't look back, and I promise you things will always be better when you come back.